Today we're going to review a product that we have found very handy around the farm with all the building projects that we have. It's the DOVOH 3-plane professional laser level. It's model H3-360G, and stay tuned, you'll see on a couple of projects how we used it. Many of you have seen us review products around the farm that we use and that we purchased. This product was sent to us for free in exchange for a review. I did it under the condition that it would be completely honest, pros and cons, and used as we use products here on the farm in real life. So let's get to it.
All right, inside the cardboard box is this nice plastic carrying case. It seems to be pretty rugged, pretty tough, so it'd be good on a work site, especially outside. And as I open it up here, you can see it has an instruction manual, the laser itself. This is for mounting on a tripod. This would be an AC adapter power cord. It's a USB power cord, 2 batteries, and what looks to be a battery charger. And the sight gauge here, let's take that out. Looks nice. And then a pair of glasses for sighting that laser.
The battery charger has a green light when there's no battery in it or the battery is fully charged. In order to put the battery in it, you must push down relatively hard until you hear a click and see a red light illuminate. The manual says that you should fully charge the battery before using it. It took about 3 hours for each of the batteries to be fully charged. Well, we started out in God's country about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so broad daylight. I'm setting 4 cedar posts and a shed roof for a goat shelter. First, I've got it mounted on a tripod with a standard tripod mount using a 1/4-inch female adapter. And when you turn it on, you'll see that the gimbal releases up in the top of the picture there and rocks back and forth. In order for it to work, it has to be within 4 degrees of level. And I can show you quickly what happens if it goes out of level.
So if I turn it around here toward the other post, it doesn't like that. It's not level anymore. It's flashing and it's beeping at me until I get it level again, and then it will stop that. It says, okay, I like that.
I started with the horizontal mode to try to set the tops of the post equal. And you can see the horizontal line right there quite clearly. It was a little bit cloudy out, but I did not have to use any of the additional accessories included to sight that line. Next, I selected the vertical mode to help plumb the post. And again, you can see the vertical green line on there. Now this was very handy because obviously these posts are not flat on the side, so a 4-foot level would be very difficult to use in order to plumb this.
It's now showing at 12, and I'm going to then set the backboard 12 inches below the front board using the horizontal laser. Now you can see both of those boards are level, left to right, and the back one is exactly 12 inches below the front one to give me a slight slope for my shed roof.
Very happy with the finished product, plumb and level on very unlevel and sloping land. Now we're ready for the sidewalls.
We have found the vertical mode of this laser is very helpful in something we're doing right now. We're doing board and batten siding on the barn, the stalls, as well as the house. And one thing you run into is when you have an obstruction in the wall, be it a window or a door or anything, a vent, you have to line up the bottom boards with the top boards that are above that. Now, we are outside and it's daytime, so the visibility is a little bit difficult, although we are on the shady side of the house. We have 2 tools in the kit that help us see it better. One is this, and it's just a green board with measurements, which is very handy in a inside or outside when you're trying to line things up or possibly put a slope, because there's measurements on it. The second thing is, if I want to see it, I can use these glasses, and it helps me pick up that green line a little bit better. The other thing is the old-fashioned white piece of paper. I can go up top and line this up. So let me show you how I do that. Now I can actually see it with the glasses on but I can also put the paper down there and I can mark below and above the paper as that green line cuts right through it, making sure the top seam lines up perfectly with the bottom seam.
And seeing the small portion of the house, we had several areas where we had to line up the bottom boards with the top boards. Now, compared to the old method we used of chalk lines, tape measures, and manual levels, this saved a significant amount of time, and we are more than happy with the finished product.
Another project we're working on are floating shelves right here. We've made these out of hickory. They're very heavy, so we want to make sure that we hit a stud every time so that they can really secure those to the wall. We think this laser is going to work great for these. We're going to use both the vertical and the horizontal laser. So we're going to start with the horizontal laser, and what we're trying to do is set the top of the top shelf, and we're going to measure from there for the other shelves.
After using the horizontal to mark the shelf locations, I switched to the vertical to mark each stud.
Well, definitely excited about the brightness inside. As you know, outside was a little bit dim, but no problem with that here. In fact, right here you'll see a couple of double lines because it's actually going across the room, reflecting off my picture windows and coming back to this side.
Well, the horizontal mode made it quick and easy to get level across that 14-foot span, and the vertical made sure I hit a stud every single time to hold all that weight.
Well, here we are in the barn, and you can probably tell because there's a chicken behind me that won't be quiet. I'm going to duplicate the loft I have behind me on the opposite side of the barn, but that one I did with a 4-foot level and a point laser, and it took 2 people and quite a bit of time to actually go around and mark all these locations. With this, I should be able to do it by myself, click that on, and it's going to mark every single post that I need. So let's get started.
Even with sunlight pouring in through every door and window, as well as between the gaps in the boards, the visibility of the laser was incredible inside all throughout the barn, even to the far corner. Even with a fully packed barn, it took less than 2 minutes to go to each post and scribe a line. And this line is actually the top of the header and the bottom of the nail plate for the floor joist. And you'll see that in subsequent videos. Next, I had to get the help of one of my sons to help me lift the nail plates for the floor joists that would go on. Once we got these up, we were able to turn the laser back on and verify that it exactly matched the floor on the opposite side of the barn. Subsequently, I had to get yet another son out there to help me get these heavy headers up. They're about 150 pounds apiece. But as you can see, it goes right below the nail plate. It matched up perfectly with the opposite side of the barn.
Well, all in all, I'm very happy with this laser. It allowed me to do this job completely by myself until I had to lift the heavy beams up here, the big headers up here. Well, I will say I used every single feature of this and loved it, except for the pulse mode because I did not have a receiver. I can't attest to the longevity of it, although I will say it comes with a 5-year accuracy warranty and a 1-year warranty against defects, which I may call in because these glasses actually have a pretty significant scratch on the left lens that affected visibility, so that would be something that would be covered under the warranty. Now, the battery life. I used the same battery for all 4 of those projects. I did not replace it because I wanted to see how long it lasted, and it hasn't run out yet. So thumbs up on the battery, and there's a backup in there. So if it didn't run out, I could throw the other one in. Now, they did say I could do a drop test on it, but quite honestly, I didn't want to do that because I loved it so much, I didn't want to mess it up. So I forewent that. Well, I promised at the beginning I'd give it pros and cons. Well, I only had one single issue with it, probably not a big deal, but when you turn it off and turn it back on, it always defaults to the horizontal mode. So if you're working in vertical mode and you flip it off to save the battery, when you turn it back on, you have to deselect the horizontal and go back to vertical. But you know what? That's not a huge deal. You saw how rugged it was. I was outside, I was with livestock, I was in a barn. You even saw dirt on it at one time, probably in the video. I never had an issue or a worry that this was going to be damaged or that it wouldn't work because it's very rugged, very strong built, good heavy item. Well, when I started doing projects out here at the farm, I started with a point laser because it was about half the price, and I really didn't think I would use all the features of something like this. But now that I've used one of these, I really wish I had purchased it long ago, because the utility of this and the ability to do multiple projects by yourself and save hours of time is incredible. It is well worth the price. Well, thanks for watching. I will say this was a great do-it-yourself tool for anyone who has a lot of projects around. Well worth the money. Please leave a comment if you use something similar to that, or if you have questions about this particular one. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so, because we have other items that I use here that we're going to be reviewing in the future. And DOVOH has provided a discount code, which is in the description below. You can click on that and get a little discount on. We'll see you next week.